you can teach anything you want,
Yeah.
but not religion, not politics.
I'm 100% against it, and if I would like any headmaster or Chinese teacher, if they witness it, get rid of that foreign teacher. His opinions, her opinions, have got nothing to do with Chinese society. I'm absolutely against it.
As you said, if there is a teacher coming and teaching that sort of stuff, I hope they get rid of them.
Today, Scott and I are going to have a talk about living, working and teaching in China. Let's go.
Well, g'day, and welcome back again to Chao Ching. And today we're here again with Mr. Tony. We're going to have a bit of a chat.
I think most foreigners, when they come to China, they go straight into a kindergarten. I think not all.
lot of them.
A lot of them do. They get their jobs through their agents, their contracts, and they come to China and they start off in a kindergarten, and then they develop into further skills and go elsewhere at a later stage, usually after about 2 years. I don't know about yourself. Are you working?
I came straight into my college. So I've been
Okay.
at my college since I got here.
Right, you say college. So what age group are they, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, they would be 18 to 20.
Shit, really?
22, yeah.
Really?
After high school.
That's like a university, right?
Yeah,
okay.
well, pretty much. It's a... Yeah, so our school, we've got sort of we've got three parts to our school now.
Yeah,
So we've got a comprehensive school, which is sort of high school age,
yeah,
who aren't going to be academic.
uh-huh,
So they come and learn medical skills.
yeah,
Then we've got the college, which is after high school. And we've just been given approval to start doing university courses. So we've now got the university level stuff as well.
good.
So yeah, we've got a wide range of ages in our schools, but
Yeah.
all, older teenage.
Right, okay. Have you ever taught in kindergartens?
So we've got one of our teachers at our college, her family actually own a couple of kindergartens.
Yeah.
So I will go and mess around with the kids in there from time to time.
Mess around, is that a good word to use?
Yeah, probably not. Take my guitar, play them some songs, show them some juggling, teach them a few English words.
Yeah.
All of the foreigners I
Yeah.
know, just about all of them are working in kindergarten.
But they're the ones that are in a greater demand. The universities, maybe they only want 3 or 4 teachers for the whole semester, the colleges,
Yeah.
etc., or maybe even just 2. If someone's watching this and they're thinking of coming to China, just thinking about it, they've not even made that move yet, what's the process?
You do need a bachelor degree,
Minimum.
university
Yeah,
degree.
yeah.
And you need to do either your TESOL or what's the other one? Teaching English as a foreign language, or there's another one as well. You need one or the other of those.
Yeah. TESOL and TEFL. One's an S and one's an
Yes,
F.
that's the one.
Teach English as a foreign language, teach English as a second language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference? They both sound the same to me.
They do, is the cipher.
But then you've got the idea of how do you find a job in China? So with me, I had contacts.
Yes.
So I was basically offered a job before I even came to China. But
Yeah.
if you don't have the contacts, you want to look probably at going through an agency.
Yeah. But that's what I did. I, on a personal level, I found an agent in the UK. That agent put me in touch with an agent in China. They both took quite a lot of money, actually, 900 English pounds. Quite a lot of money, 10,000 RMB at the time. And with that, I was able to get the job and the flight. I had to pay for a flight, obviously, but that secured. And that was my very first year in 2000. Oh my God, 7. That went fast. 2007. And then I came out. The first 3 days, I never had the address of the agency where I was meant to go to. I was wandering the streets. Somehow, after 3 days in Guangzhou, living near the train station, which was quite a vulnerable place to be at that time, the address, and I walked for miles and miles and found it. She took me back to her apartment, and I stayed in her apartment, her and her husband. They said I would stay here until we go to the school. And the next day they took me to the school. They took a sum of my income for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
What percentage, I don't know, I didn't particularly care, and in those days, I thought I was on a pretty good wage at 6,000 RMB a month. That's what I was on. And the level of income then, even then, was still 3 times more than the Chinese teachers were getting. It was quite embarrassing on payday, because I got paid in the office cash. Going back to your question, that agency was very good. It wasn't big, it was a family thing, but there are, I know, some very, very dodgy agents now. If you're thinking to come to China, there's a lot of foreigners in China now that have set up agencies, particularly in the north of China. And
Beijing
those
and Shanghai
and
sort of thing.
and they can give you benefits and knock the price down, and you think, oh yeah, okay, I agree. And it turns out you've been dropped in the shit for the next couple of years.
Yeah, when you do use an agency, do a bit of research. Try and find other people who have used them. Make sure that they do the right thing by you, because some of them don't.
Oh, Shesheni. Thank you. Oh, these wonderful ladies. Thank you very much. Sheshe. Huh? Okay. Yeah.
So you do want to check the agency. So it sounds like you had a good experience. Your agency looked after you well.
Yes.
But there are those who don't.
Yeah. But the headmaster of the school, I mean, he looked after me well, but he was the one that cancelled the agreement with the agency, because he wanted me to get a higher income. So he looked after me from that perspective. It's kind of like it's a cutthroat industry. Everyone's trying to make some money, not a great deal of money. Teachers don't get much money, the agents don't get much money. The ones who gain are the schools themselves.
Yeah.
And even the parents have to pay quite a large income to some of these foreign teachers, if the schools.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. With your school headmaster wanting to give you more money.
He wanted me to get more of the money that I was being paid, and not the agent,
That then brings to question for you, is it better going directly through the school, or is it better having an agent who actually knows all the...
Well, you can only go directly through the school if the school employs someone to take on that role, and not all schools do. They put me under some very, very strenuous and situations and some new experiences, and they challenged me mentally, by giving me audiences of 800 people sometimes at conventions. You'll be all right. And I'll be, oh my God, I'm petrified. And I just learned to wangle my way through it. But then I worked for another company which had kindergartens scattered all over Guangzhou city centre, a company called Golden Baby, and they had over 30 kindergartens, maybe 50 kindergartens, a very big company. And every day I would teach in one school, lunchtime I would travel across the city, then teach in another, and then the next day another. So each week I would teach in 10 different kindergartens. And I got to know Guangzhou better than my hometown back in the UK. And I ended up finding out that travelling on foot was often quicker because of the amount of the traffic and the amount of people using the metro. And I lost a lot of weight. I got fit, travelling from A to B.
So,
yes.
What sort of age groups have you taught? So you started off in kindergarten. So you've done primary school, middle school,
I've done primary, middle school, universities. My last university was here in Chongqing. And I've done a lot of private teaching for doctors, policemen, businessmen, etc. Done teaching because my background is business and retail business, and also that's what I studied at university. So every age group, every level, and almost in every environment as well. I've had a great, and I've also owned 3 teaching centres and 1 kindergarten. I was married, and my wife and I say was because I'm divorced now, but my wife and I, we purchased a kindergarten, decorated it out, and so that was another great experience as well. And we owned several centres, employed foreign teachers, employed Chinese staff, and it was, so I've done a lot in these 17.
Done a lot more than me. I've been stuck at one school for nearly 8 years.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say stuck. I could leave if I wanted to, but I'm very happy where I am, so...
Yeah, if you're happy, But if you get into a relationship, I know there's several YouTubers. There's Jerry's Take on China. There's another guy called Jason. He's married in China, Jason something, whatever.
Yeah, what's his living in China?
Yeah, living in China. There are several YouTubers that live in China and that are married, and they will know that they're, you know, as well as being in a marriage and overcoming any obstacles that you may encounter being married, generally speaking, Chinese women are more money orientated than the foreigner. You know, they want to do the best they can and use their partner to get that money, because we have a little bit more energy, we have some talents and that we're born with, because they want a foreign teacher. You know, we're just naturally born with it. Just being foreign
gives you an advantage. Which,
yes, it does. Yeah.
So it's great for us, but it's a bit sad, really. That
but you can work quite hard, and that when you work too hard, you then become a little stressed and tired. So you've got to be careful if you get into a relationship in China and you're working, and that relationship becomes more serious, and then you're working to almost to provide two incomes. You can get yourself a little stressed out and wear yourself down. You've got to be balanced at this.
Yeah,
there's a smirk on your face there, sort of like, what are you thinking? All sorts of stuff.
I'm just thinking I'm single, I don't worry about any of that shit. And the big thing here is the size of the classes. They're bloody huge. I mean, you know, you'll have 50, 60, maybe more students in a class.
Yeah. In fact, while he's saying that, I'm going to put a picture on my video here. Here's some of the classes while Scott's talking that I've had, how many students there are.
So yeah, a lot of the students here, a lot of the thing I've noticed is the students really just sit there and take notes. It's, what do they call it? The rote method or something.
Okay.
Where the teacher stands up, narrates the class, the students take notes. And there's very little interaction.
Was you a teacher in Australia?
Kind of, but different. I never really I did work in schools from time to time, but I was more teaching sport, teaching music, teaching circus skills.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff working with kids, but I only actually worked in classrooms very rarely. It was never my thing.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, classes in Australia are generally at least half the size here. In fact, I think it's very rare that you'd see more than 30 students in a class in Australia in primary school or in high school.
The schools themselves, kindergartens, 40 students, middle schools, even universities, 60 students in the class.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chinese teachers, you'll notice, they teach in such a way where they stand there, they say something and the student repeats. Stay, repeat, say, repeat. You know, and they don't have canes like I had when I was a kid, but they have sticks and they do a lot of pointing, and it looks quite vicious the way they teach sometimes, a very disciplined way. And my style of teaching is very different, and I'm sure yours is most foreigners
totally
are. So
different.
And I wanted my students to use their phones this is at the university, because there's a ban on phones in classrooms, and sometimes even that's quite strict. And I said, no, I would ask them questions, find the answer on your phone. So you can't play with your phone, because you've got to find the answer on your phone. And so they were able to use their phones to get answers to questions of subjects or topics we was talking about from the curriculum that was provided by the school. And so they had to do a lot of searching to find the answers. And I would walk around the classrooms to see if they found. So it was almost, I mean, I couldn't use the phones as good as them. I'm not that good on the phone, but no. They would, there's the answer, but wow. But they was able to use their phone, so there was no playing on the phone, you know, and it really, really worked. And I enjoyed that. Now, playing songs is also a good way. I mean, I would use a singer by the name of Roger Whittaker. Now, because he was a folk singer, and his lyrics have a story, and he speaks his songs as opposed to heavy rock and roll or something like this. You can clearly understand what he's saying, you know.
If you're going to use music, you want to find people who dictate well.
And one particular song I used a lot of the time was River Lady. You know, I don't know if you know that song. I'll put the River Lady here, and I can't play it for obvious reasons, but if you want to learn English, listen to that song, River Lady,
I'll have
and
a look
try
for
to
it
work
myself.
and try to work out what is the River Lady without listening to the whole song. So anyway, so we're talking about working in China as a teacher, not any other positions available, whether it's in business or exporting or anything like this. It's just about teaching. A couple of things you need to think about if you are coming to China as a teacher. The agent of the school will work to make your position legal. You shouldn't have to worry about any of that. But you will also have to make sure that you had a medical every year. This is what it was like in Guangzhou. I don't know about yourself, Scott.
Every year?
Every year I had to have a medical to make sure that I was healthy and no contagious disease.
I had one when I first came here.
Yeah.
Not had one since.
Okay. Well, in Guangzhou, I'm just saying. So I had a medical every year for 15, 16 years. So that's comforting as well. Some foreigners had medicals and were found to have an STD and was kicked out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you do your job, you'll be tasked with all sorts of stuff. Sometimes you may have to go and talk to parents with Chinese teachers, talk to the parents about their their children, how they're doing at school. That can be a little time consuming. You will have to work some weekends. So you've done your contract, you've done your first year, your second year, whatever, and you decide to move from that school to another school. Guaranteed you will not, and you haven't moved.
No.
Guaranteed you will not get a reference to say how you did or how you were at that school. Guaranteed. You know, if you want one, write it yourself and then get someone who works there to stamp it.
Yeah.
Write your own reference, because otherwise you'll have no proof.
I think I would get a reference.
Oh, you think?
But I think I'm in a slightly different circumstance because I've been with that school for so long.
Watch this space.
There's a history. And, well, actually, don't watch this space because I'll probably work in my school until I retire.
Right, okay.
So I'm not going to need a reference anyway.
Yeah, okay.
But I think
No, I'm not
I've
being,
got
I'm not,
a good
I'm,
enough
I'm,
connection with like, but
I'm not being
my
impertinent.
situation would
yeah.
be rare. Yeah, I have heard a lot of people say getting a reference really hard.
Well, it's really hard and sometimes impossible. So what I discovered is write your own reference and then get them to stamp it, and they will. They just don't know how to write a good reference.
Yeah.
Because they don't write them for their own teachers, you know, the Chinese teachers. So how the hell are they going to write a good reference for a foreigner? And they just won't do it. No matter what they say, they won't do it. So then you move, and now, because things have changed, you have to go back to your own country or leave the country before you can start a new job. You know, there's a 30-day gap. It's really changed immensely now. It's not so straightforward as it used to be. But that's life, and that's just the way it is. Right, so with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something, or gathered some more information about China if you're thinking to come here, live and work as a teacher. Okay, that only. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. Please write a comment to give me your views and opinions on China as a teacher or just as a tourist. Take care, all the very best. Bye-bye.
I'm not going to say goodbye yet. I'm going to take you for a walk. So come on.
I've actually done my walk, so I'm going to insert that into the video later. Yeah. Take care, bye-bye. Oh, thumbnail.
What do we want for a thumbnail?
I don't know.
Teaching.
Teaching pose.